I go once in a while. Price is, you know, or something. Position he played, first off, just realized this you should have went tonight. You missed it. You guys didn't. You want to go out? Give me a call next week. Fix up the game. Actually, I think I started about 7.
I couldn't afford it.
Cardiologist wants to know when that goes.
I told him.
That's what I've been doing up at the camp.
You guys look like a genius. Whoa, I bet you like that.
Well, one thing, you're just insulation before. They're brand new.
Somebody takes a motion.
Yeah, yeah, we
I don't know a lot.
got it closed in last year. This year, we got siding on it.
Especially like pop music and stuff like that. Katie goes too. Katie goes there, you know.
I got the delivery
I don't know any of that.
the materials just before I went to Canada.
Who's married to who, you know, the Hollywood stuff. I don't, when they have those questions, I
They pay pretty good. So they checked it out.
If there's any kind of.
Came in, don't have a good picture of it, but that's the package there. My daughter has got a converted school bus. So it's a full-size school bus where somebody, before she bought it, cut the back off and moved it up 15 feet. So that the rest of it is basically 15-foot flat. Yeah. So there's company's fork truck, just you drop that right on the back and you put 2 ratchet straps on it and go to bed.
Yeah,
less than that, I'm not. I can't think of clipping it to myself.
good? Anybody want to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Stand to offer thanks and praise to the giver of all goods, and may he fill our hearts with the spirit of brotherhood. Amen.
Well, we got a lot of guests tonight, so I'll start with our guest speaker that we're going to introduce a little bit later. That's County Commissioner Randy Mayville.
Did you have a unique fact you want to share?
What's that?
Didn't you have a unique fact you want to
Oh,
share?
that'll be in his introduction when he gets up to speed.
We want to go around the room with our guests.
This is Jeff. I happened to talk to him at a Down Home Days booth last summer, seems like summer. Anyway, October 5th, he stopped by the booth and we talked for a little bit about the Lions Club. He's been on Lions before, and I apologize, I do not know your last name. Benino. Okay. What again?
All right.
Is that our last one?
I think so.
Lion Chris, why don't we all introduce ourselves?
That's
We've
good.
got people that don't know us all.
Let's start with you.
All right, I'm Lion Rich Bailey, and I happen to be treasurer this year.
I'm Lion Doug Klein, and like Rich, I happen to be an officer again this year. I'm the secretary.
Lion Dave Scott, and I'm just here.
Lion Ken Matthews, and I'm just here.
Lion Rod Hunt, and I'm here.
Lion Jenny Jordan.
Lion Terry Blauvelt, I'm here for food.
Lion Tony Igo.
Lion Maureen Sparks.
Lion George Sparks.
Lion Sid Hawkins.
Lion Sid Hawkins.
Lion Karen Melton.
Lion Jeff Robinson.
Lion Chris Buck, president.
We already know you. Lion Whitmore, Lion Tamer.
Lion Tamer.
Lion City Mark, Neil Boston.
Awesome. We ready? Everybody's ready? Sir,
Yeah.
we start with the guest table, so you're up first.
All right. Thank you.
Is it free for all like it?
No, I think we're gonna go Doug first. We'll go way around.
Oh, okay, so we're gonna make our guests go next.
Actually, we'll get out.
We're on both ends.
Yeah.
You better go.
Right here?
You better go, Chris, because sometimes we get fined if we don't go, let the guests go.
Let the guests go.
Okay, so that takes us next.
Just to warn you.
So I
Yeah, that's right, because,
That's right.
that's the second reason I said that.
just forgot.
Okay.
Well, give you a strain this room. Carry a group. Here we go right now. They won't go short.
Wow.
In here. Yeah, my son's in Hawaii right now. He will get attached down there. I just watch from the units deploying, if I can see what unit, I don't know if he went or not. I doubt it. Hawaii won't be deployed.
Hey, Chris, you might want to go. Yeah, I think we're gonna want to.
That's probably the best. Did you? Where were you at County Owen? Yeah. He's at Camp Smith. Right between County Owen and Fort Howard. You guys know he's on the road. County always over by the Marines, over the Poplar sailors. Oh, yeah. They're looking at moving units to Guam.
Let's go.
Because they're gonna build the infrastructure in Guam. Yep.
Oh, me too. You know I don't hear it.
Dennis hides 45, that's where he moved away. So,
I have actually.
Jeff, yeah, like that one.
But I was. Schoolhouse. No. It was actually a relation.
You ever connect with Tracy then, Tracy Ridley? Okay. She's looking for you, basically. Tracy Coles, C-O-L-E-S. She knows you. I think your classmates, or you overlapped it. Yeah. Right? No, she is in Van
Yellow thing with mustard.
Her very deep down. Yeah.
You get GPS.
Okay.
That's exceptional.
She remembers you. So anyway, it's like what she was. She's off the circuit now, so we're visiting clubs because she's done with district government. Last year, but I didn't have a meeting where she came.
We're out by the store. I'm not unfortunate. On Columbia Road. No. Why unfortunate? Would have been the old out there. Well, I knew you wrote it too, but.
But, I've got the other museum.
Huh? He's a little older than I was. I didn't know him very well. Yeah, Bob.
Yeah, we kind of run out and start running good weather.
And snap. This right there. Used to be.
Across the street, you can go around that house and go there.
She did the first one, but they kept going one way or the other, try the other side.
Scheduling.
I mean, that's how.
No, I couldn't find her.
It's not. What's that?
She did consulting.
We're on the thing.
So she was doing. And then she got called to Myers too, so she worked her way up to district governor last year. Statewide training. For a year. She also was the director at Fairlake.
COVID's still killing those who belong to it. We got a schedule.
Limited number of clients. She said certain ones that she handled in long-term care.
But she's due for all four.
Join the Air Force.
Oh, here.
Get her signal or what?
Out there, everybody knows.
Just got your septic
Fairly.
tank.
You get some health issues.
Guy in water.
You wanna hit the garage sale every once in a while?
Larry's a general
There's not,
contractor.
I've seen them.
Travel September, almost every year.
Yeah,
I did. COVID,
Just north of the school.
took her out.
Second house north of the school.
It's just a little house, 1,800 square feet upstairs.
Don't talk to Sue, then you.
We have the loans.
Don't talk to Sue, it's what woodworking.
I had to
You
make it
usually.
just- World War II, but they're not supposed to be staying up there, but they mattress in it. They did their own painting like that. $3,000 to paint inside. Christine and
I'm gonna get some water. Or just coffee. Okay.
Get your license.
We gotta go to that mail in December. Pretty good, but once it's not either. I'll even adults. Wasn't quite out, they wanted to sleep in the whole day ahead of time, they don't give her a medicine or trainer or anything, but I'm gonna have to keep passing up to it's on her liquid diet, she can have no, not at our meetings or probably not for diabetes either,
And take about 10, I mean, put pine trees. Stumps and everything. He says it costs money to take trees out. I had to cut a tree down this year. There, my mom dropped in. Mine's leaning towards the car. This guy, this tree house came in. One was his daughter, teenage daughter. One daughter, they had that damn tree down. I seen one of the girls.
last year.
Bill had one. Right next to the sky.
That's what I mean, when you said she did for a while, so that's the first thing that went through my mind. But they had something
We're old.
We lost a couple of that, and a couple of other.
I wasn't gonna have that tree grow down. I was in the hospital, I was in a picture. Nice water colored.
Oh, right.
I'm also gonna go to a meeting. Seven.
And another pine tree up there.
This is done way before.
Higher than the wires, electrical wires.
Oh, yeah, it was before.
Going to the bars,
Working on the road. Falling down there.
Had dinner.
No, I think
All that. They weren't gonna cut it up. And the road was pretty, it was finished. Going right up there, the wire. Across the other ear wire. Went down someday.
And then
What Joe's doing, you got some mustard, there's really anything going around. The road and picking up good stuff.
I don't remember ever. Oh, I actually.
We're buying.
Once or twice. Take pictures, but I'm like, I don't enjoy normal during the week.
No, I don't.
We used to all be young.
Hi, Rod. You're on Tuesday, 6 to 10. And then Wednesday, 2:30 to 6. I'll be sending this out to you too on the email.
okay.
On the email. If you look at the email, you'll see it.
I just paid for my son again. Turned 40.
Oh, yeah. Only got a couple.
Doesn't ever come, I can't just drag him out there for it. You know, I paid for him. Alright. No, they have. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I didn't see see this stuff, it took us on tour, we started in the unloaded that with the cocoa beans. Yeah. Oh.
Younger sister in it, pushed her.
They weren't worried. So we went on our way to some.
Might not be comfortable, you can sit on it. Break you.
Are you kidding me?
Blessing in disguise. Have a white clock on the script.
Hey Lynn, I could have used that last joke back when I was working at college.
Like that one?
That's very nice.
Retirement.
it too, because most of the companies get rid of somebody in the school.
Where did you get these questions? I was gonna say, what were you Googling this night?
Those two are yeah, I know.
Okay, back to this, I don't know the answers.
Oh, what do we got? Educated guess.
I think it's pretty good. I don't think there's any, I was wagging it on every one of them.
Well, it doesn't look like they could be the correct answer.
Yeah.
I like that. Although the wind could be fooling us, you know.
Yep.
I got it, Ken. You done? Okay, good. I'll try.
Shouldn't need it.
He's over here more than you anything else. That's why they say muscular skeletal or something.
High for hernia.
Yeah. I know I heard him say like too. This one, because of the squeezing and being, it didn't seem like my other hurt, but it really hurt right here in the middle. Like, now if I'm sitting on my chest.
Wow.
So, yeah, I got up early Monday morning and realized I hadn't sent out a news release for the Clinical Society, so I did that before I went to the hospital. I said, is there anything else that I can do? No, I put out everything.
Going to the hospital is a good day-long occupation.
Oh, yeah, well, after I got the results, after I had this done, I got back to my room, which of course they billed as observation, so that's the pain.
Yep.
Got back to my room and, the nurse didn't know I was
Sacks or
freaking out.
Hershey's miniature.
And then finally, I took care of it. I mean, I can't say for certain I got any of them, but I didn't know my own answer. And I had already ordered dinner, so I called quick and that.
She's seen that too.
Yeah.
She'll even
Highly
sweeter than what she.
So I was home about, probably about 8 o'clock.
I just have one door.
Did I dress? Probably not, no, but I did. a little.
Seems like most everybody appears that we're ready for it, so why don't we go ahead and get started? How about the first one?
Yes.
Mexico?
Playboy, any others? Playboy, Playboy money. How about number 2? Sherlock Holmes.
Alfred Newman.
Sherlock Holmes. How about the third one? Iceland.
Iceland.
Iceland, we got that. Number 4, hunting license. Right, okay. And number 5,
Texas.
Texas. Michigan, and I gotta read this because I'm gonna be contested.
It's not in their hunting manual. It's an open season.
According to Lake Superior State University, Michigan offers the only free unicorn hunting license. However, it's important to note that unicorns are not real animals and therefore not possible to hunt them in Michigan or anywhere else out in the world. Hunting license is a fun and a whimsical tradition that has been around for decades at Lake Superior State University. So it's from Lake Superior State, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That kind of says it, right?
Yeah, that word band.
What about number 6? Mice. Mice, yep. And number 7?
B?
D? C? Fried chicken. How about number 8? Sorry? A dentist, yep. Number 9? Child care center.
B.
Basketball court. Number 10? Fire? Fire, yep. And number 11?
Mustard.
Ketchup.
Okay, I had a grand total of 31.
Be sure to read the little jokes in the back, I kinda like them.
Oh, that's good.
I got them all.
We have any,
Doug, you wanna do the introduction?
Sure. I don't want Randy to really be left out, so here's your file. He's good questions, we got them all ready now.
Got them all right.
You get to keep them. Yeah, I did.
You don't mind?
Your guest, no,
It's good stuff.
Entertainment's worth $1.
oh, it's the, you didn't get.
Sure got it all left.
Sometimes it's only you take a score
Oh,
about.
yeah.
Fellow Lions and guests, it's my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for this evening. Randy Mayville is a county commissioner. He's been a county commissioner for a little while. Being a county commissioner is something near and dear to my heart because my mother was one back in the day, back in the 80s. But I've seen Randy at an awful lot of our Mason Area Chamber of Commerce meetings, and where I was working there for 15 years. Before that, on the board and everything, so we go back a ways. And the one thing I wanted to let you know that a lot of people don't know is the only county commissioner I know who knows how to ride a unicycle. So please welcome Randy Mayville.
Here, there.
Normally up there, but
Okay.
And Randy is also a lion.
Yes, I'm a Holt Lion, so I'm wearing my Holt Lions, so I don't get fined. Like Doug said, I've been a county commissioner now. I'm in my 11th year, so it's been a while. And my district has changed in that time. This year here, when we took office, our districts all changed. So I used to have Onondaga, Aurelius, I call it the rural parts of Delhi, and then Allen Township, but now I have Aurelius, Onondaga, Leslie, Bunker Hill, Stockbridge, White Oak, a little U, because we all have our districts. We went from 14 to 15 commissioners this last election as well, and we got reapportioned. So maybe I'll start with a couple of quick trivia questions since we're in the little quizzes and stuff. How many counties are there in Michigan? Does anybody know?
83.
There you go, right on the money. You got it. So there's 83 that Ingham County was established in 1829, but the government for Ingham County wasn't established till 1838, a year after we became a state. So, but I know I got a couple other things I can get into later. One thing unique about Ingham County, and I had this already in discussion, someone mentioned, Ingham County is unique in the United States that it's the only county where the state capital is not, it's the only county in the United States where the state capital is not the county seat. Every other state in the US, that state capital is in their county seat, but it's a neat thing that this county was formed before Lansing became actually our capital. But, and then another offshoot, rabbit hole, I won't go into there quick. Brief background about the county government, because the county commissioner, but we don't oversee everything, because you have countywide officials. You've got prosecuting attorney, the sheriff, county clerk, the treasurer, the register of deeds, the judges, and the drain commissioner. So we don't really oversee any of those, but we actually control their budget. So they're somewhat autonomous. Other than I would say the most autonomous is the drain commissioner, because he makes his own funds, and that's I know the consternation of a lot of farmers. That he's the most autonomous, and actually one of the most, because he can do pretty much somewhat as he pleases, but I won't rub that in too much. So we do, like we said, we don't oversee those county-wides, but we do control their budget. But there are a number of county functions that we directly oversee. The animal control, the county controller, the equalization department, which that is the one that does the, helps with the assessing and the property values. All of our facilities, the financial services, you know, the billing and such, the health department. Of course, we have the human resource department. Others, we have 911, the fair, the parks. We now have part of Park Zoo. We have a purchasing department. The road department is now under the county, has been for the past 10 years. It used to be a standalone road commission department, but it's now, or it used to be a standalone road commission, but now it's the road department. We also have Veterans Affairs. A new one for the county is relatively new. It's been in place now, I think, for 3 years or so, is a public defender office. Most of that is actually funded by the state, but that's relatively new to us. But it came in part that the state, Michigan was one of the few states that didn't have that, and the accused would get sometimes not the best lawyer, and we have the whole prosecuting, the whole court system, you know, pushing. So public defender is relatively new. We actually hire the person or interview the person that runs that. So we do have a county controller whose office is across the street, more or less handles the day-to-day, because there's 15 commissioners. Being a county commissioner is actually a part-time job. It pays a little bit. That our base pay is around 12, and then with the per diems for the meetings, we make maybe 15, 16,000. So it's not a full-time job like it is in some other counties. Real briefly, I'll get into some updates that I think more or less pertain to the Mason area. Mason is the county seat, so we have to have the sheriff, the clerk, the treasurer, the registrar of deeds, the courts. All of the courts are technically based out of Mason, even though there's the big courthouse in Lansing on Kalamazoo. It's technically out of overseen out of Mason, and there's a circuit court. There's only one court left across the street here now. So, but updates for more or less the Mason area. The new Justice Complex up on Cedar Street, that was a millage funded, roughly $60 million project. That is nearly wrapping up. The building is complete. They're now finishing up raising the whole sheriff's department, the jail, the court, and getting the parking lots finished up. So that's getting wrapped up. One thing I'll say about that is the courts there left a little bit to be desired for security, with both parties coming in together and not really being able to separate them, as well as if they brought in an inmate, came through the same door as everybody else. So there's a lot of separation there for safety. The jail itself, if you've not heard, is it's a lot more modern layout, that it's more of a pod system, and all of the utilities are around the outside. So if someone wants to plug a toilet or whatever, screw something up, there's a catwalk behind it, and they can go fix it without having to empty the cells out and such. So a lot to be said for that safety of both the inmates and the corrections officers that are there. Another local one, long overdue, the Cedar Street section, the last bit going into Holt. It's being worked on now, but part of that too is there's going to be the trail extension that's going to connect Mason into Delhi Township and Holt. A big thing with that, I don't know, doesn't matter which side of the party affiliation you're on, but Alyssa Slacken has delivered well for this area. That she's got some, the congressmen are given, congresswomen are given some community grant funding. And the big thing for connecting Mason up to Delhi was how to get over 127, and that was funded last year with a community grant, by Alyssa Slack, and so that bridge is, the last I saw was gonna be on the south side of Hall Road there next to Dark Container, so, probably be about 2 or 3 years and you'll be able to leave here, go on up to Delhi, and actually from there, you can go right into downtown Lansing, Potter Park, MSU campus, and they're working on the extension out to Lake Lansing, so you could literally from here go to Lake Lansing or downtown Lansing on a trail once that connection's done.
Is that because of, you're bringing in electric cars, you're gonna
Or bicycle.
have your bicycle?
Or a unicycle.
Yeah, it's in the wrong way. I actually, the unicycle, since you brought that up, I've done the parade here in Mason for 4th of July a couple of times. It's tough on my legs, but I'll probably do it another time here yet. I haven't given up on it. Another one here, the courthouse across the street. You all know it's a beautiful building, but with like any old building, it needs a lot of upkeep. We're working on, it's been on the horizon for a long time, but you can only push it back so far, but the roof on that, particularly around the clock tower, needs a lot of repairs, and so there's quite a big capital project. Might get done next year, depending on how the bids are. They bid it out last year and they got no bids. It's hard for some construction sometimes, and they just rebid it out a month or 2 ago, and I've not heard how those bids, but there's gonna be you're gonna see a lot of work up there, and it's a beautiful building if you've never been in, or haven't been in it recently, because they made a decision in the 80s to keep it, and then basically to restore it, if you will. It's open to the public. Sometimes you gotta go into the south entrance, and with it, particular one of the things done a couple of years ago, you go up to the 3rd floor, there's some murals up there. Those were all restored. They redid the lighting for it because the lighting was faded, so, and they're historical things for Bingham County and the Mason area, so, but you're gonna see, hopefully next year, some major work, because that whole building is basically, when you go inside and look around, it's built around that clock tower to support that clock tower. So that's coming. Another thing, coming up on the horizon, it's another Alyssa Slatkin community grant funded project. The grandstands for the fairgrounds, it's been missed, I know, by the community. They've got a grant for that. That probably is not gonna happen until 2025. Right now, they wanna have it in place for the 2025 fair. The fair's got a master plan. They wanna see how they can go about implementing that master plan, but it's an expensive master plan. So right now, it's like, do we do it where it was, or do it with the new master plan? I'm on the fair board also, for I know Jenny and Stan, active with that, so I'm a little bit interested in that. So, that's the real updates I'm gonna have. There's some other little trivia questions, some other things that I'll bring up too, so, Mason being the county seat, that all originated because back when the counties are laid out, they wanted a centralized area in the county, and it's literally goes back to when you could ride a horse and do your business with the county and ride back home no matter you were in the county. So actually a trivia question is, how long have there been county commissioners in the state of Michigan? It's somewhat new,
And I think it was in the 60s.
there you go.
I remember David Hollister coming and talking to me about that in 1968. So I don't know if it happened before that or after that.
That's actually right about the time it all came. There was a constitutional convention in 61, 62 that went to the vote in 63 that didn't take effect effect until 1968. So you hit that date right on there. Before then, it was actually a board of supervisors. You had all of the supervisors from the townships, the mayors from the cities that would all meet and do that. And then it got to be where you had a county, like Ingham County with a large municipality in it, like Lansing, that they only got one vote out of 20 or 22. So how that came about. Like I said, there's 15 commissioners now, and I'm sure Doug appreciates this with his mother that there's a lot of meetings, because the full board meets usually twice a month, and we meet across the hall or across the road there on the 3rd floor. But ahead of that, we're each on 2 committees, so you get in this rhythm that you got 2 committee meetings, full board meeting, 2 committee twice a month, so it gets to be quite a busy schedule, because there's 4 standing committees and we're each on 2 of those. Another thing I'll bring up too is we've been elected to 2-year terms, but come next year in 2024, that's changing. The state legislature changed that we're going to 4-year terms next year after the 2024 election, because it's been every other year you're having a campaign, and it's then the state legislatures do that, the Congress people do, but it gets to be a distraction. It can be a distraction. So with that being said, I don't know, does anybody have any questions or comments? Doug, yes.
When they go to 4-year terms, are they gonna stagger the terms, or are they all gonna be up for election at the
No,
same
they'll
time?
all be up for election at the same time like they are now. And it can pose challenges at times, because this last time, because we went from 14 to 15, and I think 5 of those were, say, freshmen, so we had quite a bit of turnover. So it could be a challenge, but I think this was the largest turnover that we've had. But no, they'll all be together. So another.
Are there caps on that, on how many terms are we?
There is not. We actually have had, this last year, Randy Schaefer retired. He had been a commissioner since 1986 or 88. Mark Grebner had dropped off for 4 years and got back on. Mark's been on since the late 70s, was probably on.
He was on when my mom was on in the 80s.
So there is no term limit on county commissioners. And to be honest with you, sometimes these local offices, it's hard to get people to run. I mean, particularly at the township level, sometimes that they're scraping up trying to find people just to run. It's generally not bad for the county, but it can be demanding. Any other questions? Yes?
Well, I was asking you about recreation funds.
Yes. So, she did ask a question before we really got to, while we're eating dinner, before dinner. So, the county, the trails were the result of the millage, and it's actually a trails and parks millage. The original intent for that was to basically do the connections, like from Mason to Holt, the East Lansing, the Lansing Township, or Lake Lansing, and then also repairs for primarily the city of Lansing trails, because those had been in place. But with that, now that most of those projects are well underway, our Parks Department and the Parks Committee is now being more flexible on some of these. So in your case, say you're wanting to get pickleball courts,
in Hayes Park.
I would get with your City Mason Parks people and say, hey, why don't you put in for a millage request? Because we have started doing more, but they've started doing more like playground equipments. Leslie Township, down their township hall, just installed a new playground here this this year. So they're being, the way the millage was worded, there's a lot of flexibility, and if you go back and read it, it's parks and trails. And now that those projects are underway, if you push your Mason Parks people, they should be able to put in a grant request out of the millage.
It's a grant request to get those millage dollars, not to
Yes.
request a new millage.
Correct, because the millage is still in place for a few years. I would, if you're really serious, push Reed Mason Parks. Put the bug in there, you're to put in for millage monies for them.
The city just came out with a new master plan, so it might be good, I haven't looked at it yet, but it might be good to see if it's in there already. They might have already thought of that.
They're, early on, it was pretty rigid, because they're wanting to fix the trails in Lansing, make these connections, but those are well on their way, so there's more flexibility in it, so. Any other, yes?
I know it's with the state and DOT, but on 127, the whole project out there goes through the county. How long a project? Do you have any idea or input on that, or what?
No, because it's MDOT, but it does look like it's getting close to being wrapped up. I gotta drive, I work in Jackson and I have these county meetings in Lansing, so I've been driving through it a couple of times a week the last couple of years, but it does look like it's getting all wrapped up. 'Cause you get south of Barnes Road, they got guardrail down the middle of it, almost down to Leslie now, so hopefully just a couple more weeks, but I don't really honestly know about it, but it looks like it's getting wrapped up. Then they'll be on to the next one. But I mean, the county, we oversee the roads department, but not the MDOT and the state highways.
Can you explain to people, because everybody asks us, if we're a county fair, and you've been asked this a million times, how much of your tax money does the fair get, and where does it get it from?
Great question, because it's a sort of a sore spot with me, because my wife's an active 4-H fair person, my kids were. Because of the makeup of Ingham County, and we have this large urban component out of Lansing, that the fairgrounds, there's an edict that the fairgrounds is self-funded. So that's why you see the multitude of horse shows and such out there, and the other gun and knife show, rock show, this show, that show, because the edict, if you will, from the Board of Commissioners to be self-funded.
And if it's going to be self-funded, why can't we take Ingham County off? The words Ingham County off from our fair? But we're not funded by them. Everybody says, you're funded, you don't need our money, why are you raising money? We're not funded by the county.
And the county owns the property, technically. And you're correct on that. And a couple years back, when they had a bad weather year for fair, you know, the fair ended up coming to the county asking for a little bit of money out of the general fund, and it was, I'd say it didn't go over well. But that's why the new fair director is really doing a lot of different things, like the Jack Maynard's Unleashed and some other events out there to help fund that facility.
So if anybody asks you people here, the county doesn't fund us.
And more to come on that, and I won't let that cat out of the bag yet, so.
Most of the county fairs in the state are not funded by the county. Stan told me that a while back.
Yeah.
He said they're normally an organization like an agricultural group or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we were kind of strange. I think there were only like 3 or 4 like us at the time.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much for coming, Randy. We appreciate it. And tell those Holt Lions that they're welcome to come down here anytime they want.
All right. Well, we see Karen quite a bit. They're used to it.
I'll get there about once a year.
Doug, you got the secretary's report?
Yes, I do. And on your table, you'll have a copy of the minutes on the back of your agenda from our last meeting. And I did not hear about anybody seeing any additions or corrections after I sent out the email. And so,
I move we accept the minutes as read.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
there were two pieces of correspondence that came in, but I'll bring those up under new business.
All right, Rich?
So we have money. The administrative account is sitting at $6,791.13 before tonight's dues came in. The gaming account is at $11,674.80. Donations is $4,132.59. For those that don't know how we do this, we're totally separate from our administrative funds, and anything that goes to sort of support the club is all self-funded from us. None of the money that comes from any of the events, the gaming events or anything else goes into it, although, so we keep the money that comes from the poker games in a separate account, and we, from there, all the money from the poker games goes into that account, we pay our bills out of that account, and then we will do our donations out of that account. Money that comes in as a donation separate from the poker games goes into the donations account. One other thing, that this is not requiring a decision tonight, but this is more information and something that, in my view, the club needs to think about. At this point, we have $550 that have been given in memorial for Stan Jordan. And I think that we need to come up with something very specific, not just to bury that into the general account and the general donations. So I lay this out for the club to think about in a future meeting as to what do we want to do with the monies that have come in memoriam for Stan. And it should be something special in my ever so humble viewpoint.
Anybody have any ideas? Anybody have any ideas?
Yeah,
off the top of
another
their head?
scholarship.
You know, you bring that up. From what I understand, we can't designate a Leo to receive our scholarships. And we can't ask the school to give one of the $1,000 scholarships that we give. We give $2,000 scholarships. And we can't ask them to give them to a Leo. And if that's the case, I think it would be nice to have a Stan Jordan scholarship for Leos.
So we active in trying to get them around ready, that's, I think that would be a great
Stan.
idea.
You mean a Stan Jordan Leo scholarship?
Yeah, and for a
Specifically,
senior,
meaning the Lions Club elects and decides who that recipient is?
and it would have, and the school would have, I mean, the child would have to have been through the Leos program, and more likely it would have been through the middle school Leos program. Now, if they came from outside of Mason and moved to Mason, that's okay, possibly also, but I'm just thinking that, because we have had kids graduate from the high school here in Mason, who were middle school Leos now, we've been around long enough, and they did not receive our scholarship. And it just seems like it'd be nice if they put in that effort that they would. So.
What's the
something
age
like
for
that.
Leos again?
It's middle school, 12 to
So
13.
they max out before high school.
Yeah, we don't have them at high school Leos club.
We just need somebody up there that would be the, head of it.
Right.
And we could help them like we do here at the middle school, but we need a teacher or a counselor or someone that would oversee it.
That's Higgs. Higgs is the controller pretty much of all the scholarship She coordinates most of the scholarships.
Well, we
in
can work
school.
it out with the counselor at the school. And we
Yeah,
can-
we're talking about Leo Club though.
Oh,
We'd like to
okay.
have a Leo club up there, which would be nice. We need somebody that will organize it for being head of it.
Anybody know who runs the National Honor Society right now? It was Higgs, I don't know who it is, it's her.
Anyway.
That's an idea. We could go ahead, for instance, on our own, we wouldn't have to involve the high school in it at all,
Right.
since we know who the Leos were.
Well, I think that they would put in their applications at school, everybody puts in an application through the counseling center, I believe, it could be different, but from what I understand, they all put it in, and they're gonna put down what extracurricular activities they've been involved in.
Yeah, but we would want to limit it to just somebody who had been a Leo, so I'm not sure whether that's possible, but we look into it.
Well, I think that would be, because if they wrote Leo down, that would be one that you just,
Yeah, that you pull out.
Well,
It's look at the other two
I don't know that
We
they
can-
would go
can
through
we-
the system.
I don't know if you can dictate
You can't.
the criteria for the scholarship. to the
Oh,
high
yeah.
schools.
Yeah, you do
Oh,
all
yeah.
that.
All the time.
That's the
You-
point.
you
Well,
can't.
then, one of the criteria I would say would be, they had to be a Leo to get this
Right.
stuff, yeah. That would be simple.
Either that and the last year, Leos, if they have somebody, they vote, the Leo group vote for a person or something. And
So-
you carry that through to the,
I was gonna sponsor a scholarship about 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I think. And I talked to Higgs about, what do I need to do? And Higgs, the way Higgs explained it was, you set the criteria. And then we will add this to our scholarship list, we as in the school, will add it to the scholarship list. We will then collect, you do the resume, you do the criteria. We'll then pass them out to the students, they apply for the scholarship, and then we give them back to you and you select who the recipient is. It was a very simple process, it sounds like.
Yeah, but I'm not sure if you're only talking about 1 or 2 students, whether you need to go through that.
Yeah, it might only be.
Karen had a question.
Since the scholarships come out of donation money, we can't specify that it goes to a Leo, because in effect, we're saying we're giving our public money to a Lion type of member.
Oh, yeah, that's like.
So it has to
yeah.
come out of the, what do you call it?
Administrative.
Administrative account. I know that some of those donations, made in Stan's memory, were specified for the donation account, so those would not be eligible.
All the monies that I've received went into donations account.
Okay,
Well, maybe we could use it from the actual monies that we receive for Stan, but we could still have a Leo's designated scholarship.
that we could.
Right, that we could give out through the
Yeah.
administrative money.
right, absolutely.
One of the things that I guess I mentioned, Chris, in the way you're talking about scholarships, is that we've made a decision that we let the school decide who's gonna receive it. The 2 scholarships that we currently give. And you can decide you wanna take them from them and go through them all, but. this
Yeah,
really
not everybody
made-
does it, yeah.
You know, Kiwanis reviews the applications and makes a selection.
But if we were to start a new scholarship, we could say that it's the Stan Jordan Leo Scholarship or some other name, and as it actually designated for a Leo. I just think they put in the time, it's a way to encourage kids to be involved.
But aren't there other scholarships handed out that are to athletes
Oh, yeah.
or band members or, I mean, there's criteria that limits it to,
Yeah.
and this would just be the same thing.
Yeah.
No.
That's
It
a
would-
separate
because
ceremony. too.
IRS does not let us donate money to members, and Leos are members of the organization.
But I'm not saying, it sounds
We
like
can do it if
they're-
it comes out of the administrative account, that's fine.
Right.
But even if the school picks it, and it happens to
We
be,
can't specify that they're Leos. If they happen to be Leos and they're picked by the school, that's fine.
I'm confused. Are you
Yes,
saying we cannot put a criteria into the school that says that a Leo is the person that's going to receive it?
I'm
For the
thinking
donation account,
Not out
yes.
of a donation,
for the
out of the
donation.
administration.
Lorraine's got,
Administrative account, that's fine.
My
Yeah, we can do
comment
it from-
is, pick some people to work on this so we can get along with our meeting. We're not discussing
Yeah.
now.
yeah, worthy of discussion at another time. It's some good ideas that are sitting out there.
Just to get the study done.
And will we approve the treasurer's report?
I don't
So moved. Okay, motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, who's got the Leos, is that Cindy?
Yes, I went to the last meeting and Karen and Doug, was already in your minutes, went to the ones before. We're looking for a couple people in November because we have the month of October covered. So if someone wants to go on November 30, you can sign up. The kids they went through a training program for their officers, so they've selected officers and they have already put together actually a calendar for the year. They did that at the end of last year, so they can kind of set up the process that they were going to use, which has been really helpful because it's moved them, they have a better idea of what they're doing, plus it's helped these teachers, Amber McCray, decide what's coming next, so I think it helped her out a lot. They're doing a fundraiser for breast cancer awareness, it's called Penny Bombs, and they put pennies and quarters and nickels and dollars in milk cartons and try to get, it's a game that they play to raise money. And so that's what they're working on right now. They're a good group, always active.
Last weekend, they helped with 2 community projects. Those are listed on the flyer on your table. With pictures.
Old business and updates. Information on MSU football games.
The next game is Michigan, 7:30 game, a week from Saturday, and it's our turn to stay late. So I've got a couple people, and I'll try to find a couple more that haven't stayed late this year. Not naming names. But yeah, game's at 7:30, so we'll have to be there between 5 and 5:30. Gates will open at 6. Is Deb gonna be there?
I don't know. She hopes to be.
Because if you wanna stay late, we can get her a ride home.
Okay, yeah, I plan on staying
Yeah,
late.
I know you do.
I don't know if she does though.
Well, I doubt if she does, yeah.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Yeah, we'll give her a ride home. But
Okay.
she does what?
Doug, you got info on the poker room?
Yeah, I just came back here to take a look. There's still one spot that hasn't anybody on it yet. That's Wednesday, October 18th, from 10:45 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. If nobody wants that one, I'll take it, but I just hope I won't be in the hospital.
What was the time again, Doug?
It's, let's see, Wednesday, October 18th, from 10:45 to 2:30 p.m. So it's still open back here, so if somebody wants to sign up for it, they can, otherwise I'll sign up for it.
If you wanna come party with Rich and I at 10 p.m. though, so.
Yep.
That's time to be there.
So for
That's the
Heather,
daytime one.
she says people be there for Monday and Tuesday at 6:15, and Wednesday and Thursday at 10:45.
And pick up the stuff from you again, the startup money.
For that
Good.
first one, I'm
Yeah.
thinking about delivering it to you guys out there so I can take a look at the spreadsheet and make sure that everything's right. Because we've had a couple glitches with the spreadsheet where stuff's not gotten filled in and I don't
Okay.
catch it, so I'll let you
Okay.
know if I'm not going to, but right now my plan
Because I
is.
think Wayne and I are doing from 6 to 2 a.m.
Yeah, I know, you're lucky people.
And I'll be sending out the schedule to everybody who signed up
And
this weekend.
Jen and Rod, have got Tuesday, and ideally you pick, one or two of you will pick it up at my house, the suitcase. I'll have the money for you. Yeah, for you and Wayne, I'm thinking about coming out just so I can take a look and make sure that everything looks right, if I can catch everything.
Sounds like a plan.
Yep.
Was that you?
Doug got it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Doug, you have info on that
I'll
first?
pick you up.
Yeah, that daffodil planting was also part of the Leo project that you got a flyer on already, so we don't need to talk about that more, but we did that this last weekend.
And I'm guessing you got info on libraries, museums as well.
The library,
6 to 2 a.m.
Hold up.
Yeah, no, I don't think I can go here or there.
the library will be giving us an update on how they're using our money next week, because Heather will actually be here, our area. And then we'll also give you an update on the roof as well from the museum. So we'll hear about the library museum next week.
Any other old business?
Put it in the right spot.
None? Awesome. New business? Upcoming speakers?
We have Dr. Chad Lindsley 2 weeks from today. He'll be talking about his trip to Kenya with Dr. Glenn Lindsley and about how they use Lions glasses to do their workout, missionary work out there. So we always like to hear about that. And then on November 8th, we'll have our induction of Sid Hawkins with our district governor, Ted Hamilton, and he'll also make a few remarks.
Eagle Scout project?
We have received in our correspondence a letter, an email from an a prospective Eagle Scout. We've had these kinds of things before, if you remember. It said, "Dear Mason Lions Club, my name is Andrew McKee, and I am a Boy Scout with Troop 763 in Mason. I've been in scouting since the 1st grade and am now working on the final step to advance to the rank of Eagle Scout. Scouting has been very enjoyable and influential in my life. He's serving as librarian for his troop. His Eagle Scout project is to renovate the storage shed for the Mason Historical Society. It is currently in poor shape. Actually, you can see right through the damn thing, but he did say that on here. My plan is to replace the outside wooden siding, trim doors, and repair the asphalt shingle roof. I'm seeking monetary donations to purchase the necessary materials for the shed project. Once the funding is raised, I will renovate the shed with members of my troop. I plan on having work days at the end of October and beginning of November. Any donation you can make would be greatly appreciated." And then he gave us contact information. I've heard his spiel before because I'm on the board for the Historical Society, so I don't think he needs to come and talk to us one more time. But I would make a motion that we provide $200 toward the project.
Anyone want a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Let's see.
Hey Doug, can I get his info from you later? I think I'm up out a couple hundred more.
Sure. Normally this time of year, we do a food bank donation, or at least we plan on it, coming up for November. Normally, I think Melinda handles that, am I right? She works with us on that.
I think so, I can't remember, didn't we,
I didn't think we gave a different donation, I thought it was just the annual donation.
just the one?
Well, the annual donation, yeah.
Yeah, we don't do the Thanksgiving and Christmas anymore.
Which is $750. I think our last time we did that was in January roughly.
Okay, so we want to do it in January again?
Yeah, let me take a look and see. Mason Food Bank is February when we finally got around to writing,
Okay,
and that was $750.
okay, so we should probably bring it up in January.
Yeah, does anybody know when their need is? There might be some point to having the money in before the holidays.
Thanksgiving is always a big need. We do a drop for Thanksgiving every year.
Yeah, but then everybody does Thanksgiving, so they might have a lull coming up in January.
After Thanksgiving, the coffer is usually empty.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe that's probably a good time, but we'd have to talk to Debbie about it, I suppose.
Okay.
Also, just to let you know, there's only 2 more meetings before we have to have a plan for our holiday party, so I just put that under new business as well. I'm not saying anything about it one way or the other, but somebody should be starting to plan it, I would imagine. Last few times, we've had the holiday party over at the Nazarene Church, and it's gone over fairly well.
But the Nazarene Church isn't the Nazarene Church anymore,
It still is,
is it?
yeah, they haven't sold it,
Why has it got a funny name?
because somebody's leasing it. They took it off already.
Oh, because I thought, well, we're gonna go drink wine a day.
That's another church group.
Well, I can check with them if that's where you want to go. I mean, you guys gotta decide where you want to go. I'll check with them, not my house.
Any volunteers to be on the holiday party committee?
Karen,
I'll do decorations again.
because I'm not.
Any other new items?
Yes, I have received in the mail one other piece of correspondence. This is the See Your Name in Lights, Street Lights, that is, campaign from the Chamber of Commerce. The last time they changed the banners out here, I was running the Chamber of Commerce, so it tells you it's a while ago. During COVID, they didn't go up. So, but these ones that we have out here now are the same ones we've had for about 5 or 6 years, I think. And they want to change them out. I have pictures of the two possibilities that you can take a look at if you'd like. Since we're members of the Chamber of Commerce, the price for sponsoring a banner is $175. And again, it's good for at least 3 years. At least I know that. So if that's a thing we might want to do, it'll have a dangler on it that says Mason Lions.
When do they need to know?
Fairly soon.
Before the next meeting?
Well, I don't know. I'm just gonna make a motion that we approve the $175 to have a banner for 3 years. For the 3 years, yeah.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Anyone opposed?
You know, I go through a lot of cities and they have military banners up, and I think that looks just neater than heck, and I have no idea, you know, how they do it, or, you know.
Yeah, I'm on the chamber board, and I don't think that was ever
Yeah.
suggested.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
That's a nice.
In the
idea.
city?
Uh-uh.
In a city, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's lots of them.
Leslie,
Yeah.
Leslie has a,
Leslie has military banners?
yes, I'm pretty sure they do.
Well,
I
they have
think some of
both,
them
they
are
have
back.
both the business one and the military ones they put up part of the year.
Yeah, they aren't up all the time, I don't.
One of the things that, just to let you know, city never was too hot on putting them up and down. Okay, we got them to take them down only when they put the Christmas decorations up, and they very begrudgingly put them up in the spring. So, just to let you know, in case you talk to a city council member.
We've got a chamber meeting this Friday, I'll ask.
Just, yeah.
Sarah.
But
Just
this
curious.
is the one for 3 years, but I think that's a good idea. I think we ought to think about doing that. And if you could get the city to change them more often, that would be great.
And I would think that those types of banners, the families would
Yeah.
actually
I'll
pony up
guarantee you
for
get
it.
business owners here that would sponsor one of them.
So is it one or the other, or is it that on one side and,
No, it's one or the other. So I would just let you know that the two possibilities, and you can choose which one you'd like, is one that says Home of the Bulldogs with a symbol for Mason Schools and a bulldog. And the other one says Mason Hometown USA, Making Mason Memories, and it has a beautiful sunset photo of the courthouse. So if you want to take a closer look, you can take a look.
I like the Hometown USA one.
Me too.
so we can pick one of those, or the
Only one.
city is picking just one?
Well, we can put a request, it doesn't say that we can request, but I think we can request one of the others.
Okay, that's
Okay. So is it the sense that we might want to request the one with the courthouse?
Yes, I like that.
Okay. All right, sounds good. I'll go ahead and fill this out and send it in, and they will go ahead and bill us.
Any other new items? Any announcements or reminders?
That's where we do the drawings.
50-50.
We have to call that announcements and reminders.
$17, big money tonight. Glasses on.
Oh, I can't read them.
Last four are 8450.
I got that one. Can I just donate it to the Lions Club?
You can do whatever you want to
Let's
with
do
it.
that.
You can put it in my pocket.
Let's donate the stands.
Not it.
Gross.
Note that donated to the donations account. All right. Joker, coming up. So if you draw the ticket and you draw the Joker, we're up to $109.50 tonight.
The reason you don't have a ticket is because then you have to come to every meeting to sell it. So,
Part of what you win is his job. That's why I've got this. So, You don't have a ticket, so I'll let you pick one out of there.
I got mine first. We know we should
All
get
right.
the Jenny's in.
All right. 0624 9 8. Don't tell me it's mine. Nope, it's not mine.
I got it.
All right, it's Rod. All right. Do what you please, Rod. It was in here earlier.
Doug, I'll be on it. Christmas committee.
Taking the bottom. 10 o'clock. You missed by one.
Did he win it?
He's off by one card.
Lost by one card. All righty.
Hey, I do have one announcement. There is a, Veterans Day is is it 10th today or 11th? Today's the 10th, right? So today's the 11th? Okay, so we are 1 month away from Veterans Day. It's November 11th. Modern Woodman is doing a fundraiser for veterans. This will be the second year we've done it. And it is a Corvette raffle for veterans. So Modern Woodman purchased a brand new 2024 Corvette. We're selling raffle tickets for $100 a piece. Some people go, dang, $100 a piece, but we're only doing 1,200 tickets total. So your odds of winning are pretty good. All proceeds are going to an organization in Michigan called Vet Life. Vet Life is a one-of-a-kind organization that focuses on connecting veterans with their benefits. Because when you get out of the service, you're told you've got all kinds of benefits, but nobody knows where to go and how to find them. So that's what Vet Life specializes in. Last year when we did it, we donated about 32,000 to Vet Life. This year the goal is to donate 40,000 to Vet Life. If you win the Corvette, you don't have to accept the Corvette. You can sell it back to Sheen Chevrolet. It's a brand new Corvette. Person that won it last year was a farmer down in southwest part, Paw Paw, Michigan, and ended up pocketing, I think it was like 72,000 when he sold the Corvette back to Sheen Chevrolet. So if anybody is interested, or please pass the word, for a great cause. We're selling raffle tickets until November 10th, which is what day? The Marine Corps birthday? November 10th. So we're selling raffle tickets until the 10th. So if anybody's interested, just let me know. Modern Woman has tickets down in the office. So thank you. Anybody else have any other announcements or any save rounds? All right.
I move adjourned.
I think yes.
Glad I came back.
One other quick note, and that is we have copies of the brochures for the club and for Leo's and the Lions up here. If you want to go out and recruit new members, take some with you.
Did anybody leave a knife in a bowl at the picnic? This knife can do some serious damage, so if anybody claims it, I'll probably use it for somebody.
See ya.
Send it, tells me where to send it to. But it doesn't tell me where to write the check. Yeah,
FYI, I said, I said Wednesday, another thing, now medical commitment.
Okay, well, I'm on board.
Gotta push some more up.
I do as much as I can. Riding my car, that's all I'm doing. I'm not very good at
We used to do our
Jeff is gonna try. He's got one. Yeah,
So we can plan on you doing it.
I'll wait up on phone.
yeah, I don't know if he's been out long enough, but he might have to make
I'll
it.
have to look.
Yeah.
You need us to stay.
Okay. See when I gotta work. Somebody must have filled in the slot. Yeah, it looks like somebody must have filled in the slot. Got it. Wednesday, October 18th at 10:45 a.m.
You wanna put in who's going to these meetings? In your minutes?
You know, I could do that. That would be a good idea.
That would be very nice.
Last couple of nights.
That's good. It's not on the 19th. On the 26th of October in November. November 2nd.
I think I already wrote it on the calendar for last week.
November 9th is day.
It's on my calendar.
November 16th is Jenny. November 30th is Karen.
Yeah, what do you say?
That's it. Then the Christmas party.
All right.
We just hired another Marine with us.
Nice to meet you too. So, thanks for the invitation, Doug.
Oh, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. It was perfect. It was what they needed to hear. Because nobody knows what you guys do.
No, and it's actually, I had a presentation that I did a year and a half ago. It's like, what is it that we do anyways? So,
Yeah, I figured that's it's something that people need to know. I mean, the only time they look quizzically is when they get their tax statement. You know, what is that money going toward?
no, and a lot of that money, I didn't get into the funny, but a lot of the money, like the townships, Aurelius Township tries to get ahead of it because, like, 1 or 2% is going to your township.
Yeah.
A good share of it's going across the street here, and then the rest goes to the schools.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
I always used to point out to people, I said, now, you see that line that says LCC on it? I said, that's why it's, because you're paying taxes to LCC. So are your businesses. I said, if you're not using LCC services, you're stupid.
yeah.
Because you're already paying for it. I was drove me crazy with business people. The administration at the college told me I couldn't say that to business people because it reminded them that they pay taxes. Like, you should be responsible for, letting people know what you use the money for.
Well, the veteran stuff, I don't think people realize the veteran stuff that the county helps coordinate.
I didn't. That was a new one for me. Yeah.
Take advantage. And I know veterans business, like you go talk to someone at the county and make sure you get everything that you're entitled to for veterans.
Okay, well, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much. Oh, yeah. Thank Snuck out on me. Okay. Well, we'll see you later. Let's see, I think, Lynn signed up.
Start harvesting one of these days. When the weather is
It doesn't
crappy.
look very good for a while.
No, it doesn't. Stuff isn't really that right because The weather that we had this year has really screwed things up.
Oh, yeah.
Get one thing I wanna get this down before I forget.
6 months. I talked to his kids at the funeral.
Take care.
Like a whirlwind to me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you are. You ready? Yep. They're ready.
And stitches.
Yeah, you said you were, I had started filling it all out, and you said you were, so.
Scary.
This was here, that's upstairs. How big this
There was a TV show, I don't know.
Oh, we have somebody written in for that spot that was empty.
Yeah, Mark.
Lynn Mark wrote his name in.
Yeah,
Did you see that?
well, he said he was, yeah, I didn't see that, but I knew that because,
Okay.
one, I saw Cindy headed that way, and two, Lynn stopped me and said he was gonna
Yeah.
stop at the house and pick up the
So
suitcase.
when I send it out to everybody, you'll see it on there too.
Yep, yep.
I should do that tomorrow.